What is up, guys? Today we are at Seymour's Garage and we have one hell of a project on our hands today. This is a 2006 CRF250R and she's effed big time. I don't even know really how to put into words what happened, but this, to give a little context, this is a mutual friend's bike. Previously it was another mutual friend's bike.
Passed around the group.
Yeah, it's been
She's gone around. So apparently our good friend bought it. It was a fresh rebuild. He didn't ride it very much. Everybody in the group was riding it while he owned it, and then he sold it to Ryan. Ryan rode it for maybe 5-6 hours, couple trips. He was road riding it down the road, and it just lost power and conked out. So he brought it to us, and we were kicking it. We weren't sure if it had compression or not, and we took it apart. The first thing we noticed is we were checking the shims on the valves. We were seeing how in and out of spec they were, and we noticed one was really out of spec. And I also peeked in and saw the bucket had a hole in it. Something didn't look right. So we took it all apart. We were scared too. We don't know what we're doing. We're very new to this. So
yeah.
I have car knowledge. I don't have bike knowledge.
And I have two-stroke knowledge and absolutely no four-stroke knowledge.
So we get into it and we don't see a hole in the piston. So we're good there. The valve dropped, but the end of the valve stem was so mushroomed that it couldn't go.
Actually, let's let's go over.
The carnage over here.
Look at that pussy mobile. Look at that engine.
So here's what we got. We noticed a bucket with a hole in it. We noticed a missing shim. We noticed the end of the valve was so mushroomed that the only way I could get it out, the spring was let go, the keepers were let go. They were all on the top of the head. But there was so much mushroomage that we couldn't take the valve out properly. We had to actually cut the head off by pushing it through as much as we could, cut it off, put it back through. Didn't damage the guide. The seat looks okay.
Yes.
We have a new valve, and we're noticing that the valve fits in the seat, or the guide, and fits in properly. We did nick the head surface a little bit with the grinder cutting the valve. But there's a difference in the valves, but they seat properly. So we're wondering if these are aftermarket valves or not.
Yeah, this is a Honda OEM valve. We don't know about these two, but obviously you can see the difference in terms of shape. We ordered an OEM spring. I believe this is the outer. And in comparison to the ones that we pulled out,
we have a two-piece valve spring on the intake. The seat, the intake valve seat or spring seat is different from the OEM Honda one we ordered, and the cap is slightly different. Now the cap that was involved in the damage was jacked up. The cap that we ordered is different, but it appears to work. The bottom seat is the one we pulled out of the bike. This is the OEM Honda one we just ordered. Does not appear like it's going to properly work with this.
Oh, and we should point this out. I didn't even think about it. This is the old cam. As you can see, the lobe is completely like ground down.
It's hot too. It got hot.
Sorry, my phone
it is
so
galled
dark
up on the sides here.
Can't even get the focus.
Oh no, we're losing focus.
Yeah, that's alright. That's what you get for buying a $500 phone.
So yeah, we noticed this right off the rip, and I said to him, I don't think that's correct, because if they're both intake and this is the exhaust, they should open the intake springs evenly at the same time, unless there's some weird Honda, I don't know. And we find out that the new cam that we have in the box over here is identical on both sides. You got a hole in one of them and then solid lobe on the other, but So that is damaged as well.
Yes. So there is a lot of damage. I do want to point out before we even get any farther into this video that this is not a tutorial. This is not a traditional or like by the book, do it. You know, we're kind of trying to fix it on a budget for our buddy here, and we're gonna do everything possible to get it to run, but we might do some unconventional stuff.
Not total hack job.
Not total hack job.
We're not RTVing and gluing the bike back together, or we're not
No.
putting mismatch. We're not putting SAE in metric, and we're not
Right,
putting
right.
washers where they don't belong. And we're gonna torque the cam caps, and we're gonna put everything how it's supposed to go. But we, I mean, if it was mine or Austin's bike, this head would be going in the garbage, and we'd buy the $500 OEM replacement.
And I would even though the piston, as you saw, you could see where the fucking valve smacked it. I would ideally want to replace the piston. I would honestly probably replace all the valves, just because obviously this was
Just to play
bought.
it safe.
This was bought by a Facebook
Right.
mechanic.
Friend number one, when OG friend bought this bike, he was given a box, and the box consisted. It was a Wiseco top end assembly, and so I'm guessing I think it was a crank kit as well.
Yeah,
And
I think it has the Wiseco crank in the bottom, if I'm not mistaken.
It didn't come with the old piston, it didn't come with the old crank. In the box it had a couple timing guides, it had an old chain, an old gear,
Bearings.
it had a blown stator, a blown clutch hub. Housing,
Yeah.
Clutch housing.
Yep.
Bunch of damaged carnage. But it did not have the old crank and old stuff. So who knows if this piston was ever replaced or not.
This is a Facebook mystery for sure, and
It
whoever
is.
put it together may
Initial-
have not put it together 100% correct.
They grinded their initials into the cylinder head.
And I will
That's-
say though
that's
that
right off
the
the bat.
the air filter was pretty fucked.
Yeah,
So
we gotta
to
say Ryan was not doing the proper. Friend number two was not doing the proper maintenance.
ideally maybe we should have like checked the shim. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of like what ifs and like what could have happened, but needless to say, you guys can see it. She's fucked, bud.
From the start, though, this was a very hard to start bike. When it was running, it had power and ran pretty good, but it was always very temperamental and didn't want to start very easily, especially when hot. And who knows how long this has been coming apart.
Right. So it might have been destroying itself, but it's a Honda.
We're new to compressing Honda with the. We
Yeah.
got no valve spring. We got this thing. We got this thing. This is what I'm used to using. I have used one at my engine shop when I worked at the engine shop. It was a little fancier, but that wouldn't probably even work on this.
So yeah,
You
now
probably need a head table, which is what Evan used.
so now we need to basically install the new stuff, but we're running into the dilemma of what the hell we're gonna do to get the spring and all that stuff in there. So Chris's idea
We did
was,
just lap the valve.
yeah, we did lap
We
the
got
valve
that
off the
far.
camera. yeah, we did do that.
Off cam, we just got that far, and so we're figuring it out. But she's gonna run. She will.
We
just
will
when.
see. You ever see that video on Facebook where they try to, or they have the new guy at the shop trying to catch all the sparks in a bucket?
Yes.
That's someone
The
to do.
guy trying to see a leak on a tire where it's not even mounted on a rim.
Yeah.
It's fucking toasty.
Yeah, I can
Oh,
imagine
you're right,
so.
you're right. The first cut, it wasn't that hot. I'm trying to make them equal distance down to the first cut, and I'm gonna do a cut through the side, and make a whole window out of this 5/8 socket that it's not gonna completely die. It's just becoming a different tool.
There you go. All right, guys, we had to cut another socket.
Yeah, this is take two.
Take two. But it gonna work.
You got them keepers out of the bag or no?
Nope. Let me actually,
Yeah, see, this socket looks a lot better.
let me actually be useful here.
Cap much smoother.
Yes.
So I don't even really want to press this until we're like money ready.
Yep. Bear with me, peoples, because I actually want to help and not just fucking film. So you guys aren't gonna see shit probably, but I don't give a fuck. Sorry. Keepers.
You're just doing it.
Boy, that's a keeper. God, they're so small. Where the fuck did it go? There it is. Look at that, boys. Chris did a good job, as I sat and wondered what the fuck to do.
This plus rag and block of wood plus that equals cylinder head assembly tool.
Success story.
Yeah, we did it. A little bit of struggling with the magnet and keepers.
Yeah, those keepers are a bitch.
I learned if you put the keepers in the top bucket, the cap, whatever, and push it down all as one, it goes a lot easier. I didn't know that. At the engine shop, I used to use a fucking pneumatic press with some adjustment at the top. It would push it down, I'd keeper them in. But it was on 4-cylinder car engines, Honda Civics, that stuff. This different.
So what's next?
What's next, you ask?
Yes.
Give it another cleaning. Getting the cam in it and figuring out what shims we put in all around. Put the new bucket on and make sure it goes on.
Math.
And then put the new head gasket on, torque everything down, make sure it's got oil and coolant in it.
Okay, so I did a side note on
Clean
that.
the carburetor.
Yep. So I should show you guys this too. Look at all that dirt. So I'm gonna clean this, and we're gonna continue assembling the head. But I'm just gonna do that real quick. All right, boys. Took apart the carb. I don't know if you guys can see.
Something growing in there, dude.
It's like someone busted a nut in the carburetor bowl. There's a bunch of white junk at the bottom of the float bowl. There is stuff everywhere. So, oops, why am I zoomed out there? So I'm going to take out those jets and clean them and figure out what this mystery fluid is. And for everyone saying, why didn't you just take the carb out the bike? Fuck you. No. Alright guys, if you made it this far, then you're like, what the fuck? The bike's put back together. What happened? As we were working on it, it's kind of hard to like film and work on stuff. Got a little carried away with just fixing the bike and not filming it. We'll say that there was a bunch of stuff that happened that we didn't film, like assembling the head and realizing that the timing chain came off from the bottom gear, so we had to take the stator side cover. When we took the stator side cover off, we found the missing shim that we thought was smashed in the head, and it was not. We found gunky oil. Super dirty screen. So we cleaned all that, flushed all the oil, got the timing chain back up, got the head all assembled, got the shims in the correct spec. Obviously everything got put back together. The first owner bought this plastic kit when he first had it, never put it on, so we put it on, and she's looking pretty. And yeah, so now the bike runs, believe it or not. She's fucking cold, super cold. Here, bud, you want to hold this? Start it up for the people, maybe, hopefully. Do that, make myself look like an asshole. We'll do a couple slow kicks for the game. Oh, she wanted it. Come by the motor. Do you hear any ticking? Well, the Unicam will tick.
Sounds pretty good to me. Feels good. My finger's stethoscope.
Two places to put your pee-pee. She needs a little bit more gas in the float bowl. Woo. That's why we should have started with the choke. That was no choke, too. shifts through the gears, does everything pretty good. So now the current owner of the bike is doing a raffle.
30 spots, $100 a spot.
Yep.
We're about almost halfway full already in 2 days. We're trying to get this thing gone within 2 weeks. So hopefully one of the friends in the group ends up winning this from Ryan. Ryan walks away with money. Said person gets it for $100, and even if it blows, there's still a winner.
Yeah.
Because this thing's still worth something, you know?
Yeah.
And then one of us can buy it back, fix it, and maybe re-raffle the
You
sucker.
never know, you might see it back on the channel.
Might be right back on the channel. I'm hoping to either win it or buy it blown up and make it really nice.
Yeah.
So who knows? Who knows?
So if you guys made it this far, thank you for watching. I can't believe it started, to be totally honest with you. It probably won't last that long, but
I have high hopes.
I think it sounds fucking awesome, honestly. Yeah. So who's to say? But yeah, you know, do the usual. I'll do my YouTube, whatever the fuck, you know, like, comment, subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, and hopefully we'll have more bike content, like working on bikes.
Yeah, this winter's gonna be cold, so we're gonna be in here possibly buying up some more projects, finding stuff to work on. Me and him scour the marketplace religiously, so.
Oh, here.
We got one in the graveyard back there.
I was gonna say, this could be, I don't know what the fuck we're gonna do with this thing, but 1995 YZ125, and she is clapped. So if we could get that thing running, that would be a fucking miracle and a half. So, yep, thanks for watching, guys. Do all that stuff I said before, and yeah.